also, he will be very happy to make not only this, but also to prepare some, if you want to have some special video shots to be put in YouTube, this is also his vision. And I will try to pay a look over the internet to see what you are doing, because I think that many very interesting issues will come out of this experience. Thank you very much again. And now, I shut up. And we'll give the floor to Professor Melita Richter, who could not take part in our session yesterday, but he kindly asked me to keep her speech for today. So the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and I'm glad I'm taking my intervention now after your introduction and after also the introduction of Professor Bugarski, because I'm coming from one region which is left side from the part of former Yugoslavia, but western side from the Italian part, so the Italian-Slovenian border area now, but that was for decades the frontier where two regimes and two different visions of the world were contacting, they are confronting, and so this experience of being in the region of Friuli Venezia Giulia and Trieste, city from Trieste, it's quite very well included in your presentation, because still the burden of what was the Second World War and how it is interpreted. It's a hot question. Probably you who are familiar with the history of the area and maybe know something about it, that border, the issue of Trieste was a hot European question till 1954 when London Memorandum was signed, and then the area was divided in Zona A, Zona B, and that time was very difficult to think about any propulsivity of the border. But then, well, I have to pay attention, not be lost in a history, but still after London Memorandum, especially in the 60s and 70s, that area became the more propulsive frontier between East and West, between socialistic Yugoslavia and capitalistic Italy. And Trieste, the city of Trieste, was the main point. I don't know, many of you who are from Belgrade, you are young generation, you don't remember, but if you ask your mothers, your fathers, your grandmother, you probably will hear about Trieste and going to make shopping in Trieste by the buses and coming this shopping very early in a city, traveling all the night and being there at 6 o'clock, still shops are closed, and then all these masses of Yugoslav people waiting that the shops open. That was an experience which is now forgotten, but that was the testimony of the time where Yugoslavia was the only one country where the people, the citizens, were from so-called Eastern Bloc, were possible to move and to have a contact with the Western societies, Western how you can call windows to what was the capitalist society, and that was very important for us. So the memory of crossing the border is strong in the area, but still, the interpretation of some historical facts, like a few days ago, before I was leaving Trieste, for instance, there is still fight to recognize the Slovenian language in municipality meetings, and also the historical fact who was and when was the liberation day of the city of Trieste is interpreted in different way from Slovenian part and from Italian part, so and a minority and majority. And that is the area from which I'm coming. I would be able to bring you the information about the region, Euro region, Eastern Euro region, but I don't want to speak about governmental and state declarations and slow moving on that topics, because I'm very much interested in what is changing really in so-called Europe from below, in the society, from the associations, from the proposition of civil societies, and I'm not speaking today to you as a university professor, but as an activist. I'm active in the region of Friuli, Venezia, Giulia, and Trieste in this movement which are trying to cross borders already for decades. And that's why there is also the dynamics of why I was moving from the yesterday assembly to today, because I think it's much more interesting for you to hear really a concrete experience of our region, and not to have a speech about mass media and culture, which was proposed to the yesterday session. And it happened also that when I heard about this forum of young voices here in ECPD as a proposal for also future activities of ECPD, I was very happy, and I expressed my enthusiasm to Professor Ostojic, so he immediately included me to the forum, but my wish was to listen to you and learn from you, so that's what is very precious today for me, just to hear what is your experience, and I just yesterday had the first vision that it is very, very rich. But coming back then to experience from the Trieste area, when we started, that was 2005, so it's already decade. Some of the countries of Western Balkan area, I should say also that I'm originally from Zagreb. I'm an urban sociologist. I was educated in Zagreb, and then I moved to Trieste, so my personal experience is also the migrant experience, and I would never be able to forget what does it mean border and border crossing, and belonging to different cultures, different plural identity. So when we started, some of these countries, more than the others, were exposed to the restrictive and humiliating visa system, as well as to the security policy of EU during the 2 decades of warfare, sanctions, and poor political and economic cooperation among the countries of the Western Balkans. Besides, those countries kept the psychical and psychological barriers between themselves, then restricting significantly the opportunity for free movement for citizens. Today, with the visa liberalization, many of them come closer to the European fold and to the normalization of the bilateral relations. The impact of such exclusion and auto-exclusion was suffered mostly by young generation, raised in culturally homogeneous areas without the opportunity to meet, know and understand border and better the other. If we add that the school system in the countries of former Yugoslavia does not support the recognition of the other, not the knowledge, the respect of the linguistic and cultural identity, its history and tradition as part of their own common plural identity, the question of the future European citizen and their biological ability, as well as the ability to become participative and responsible agent of the development of their own societies, is raised automatically. Europe is a single continent, but still fractured in its peripheral areas. The process of unification of Europe requires the creation of spaces where the peripheries can be integrated in one unique European organism, and where the citizen and, in the first place, the young generation can meet, share, and promote the intercultural dialogue and develop their collaborative relations. We cannot always expect that the promotion of such a policy from the governmental subjects and state institutions, the promotion of the shared space of Europe can be supported by the civil society and local, communal and regional level with the aim of strengthening the transborder collaboration of different objectives of the international civil societies. One of the projects which very much stressed this idea and the idea of the creation of the Europe from below, based on the desire of developing dialogues among young generations beyond any ethnic frontiers and national limits, is the project promoted by Association Tent for Peace and Human Rights from Monfalcone, a small city close to Trieste. The project is named Reti Ponti Dialoghi, networks, bridges, dialogues, and includes different levels of contacts and relations between generations of young people, both citizens of EU and CE, namely Italians, Croatians, Slovenes, Serbs, Bosnian, Roma people, Kosovo people, Serbian and Albanian, and allowing them to meet, to know each other, and to develop the intercultural dialogue, not forgetting their differences and their different levels of exposure to the recent historical events. At the same time, this project offers to the all opportunity to confront their visions of future and to exchange their experience in the field of youth activism. To achieve these aims, the project is offering to the young the international summer camps in the border areas of Italy, Croatia and Bosnia, where they work together and together promote a culture of peace, recognition and respect of differences. The other aspect of the project is promotion of traveling, of trips. It's so-called Caravan, Europe Beyond the New Walls, which includes the traveling through the Balkans, touching different years, some localities of Croatia, Serbia and Bosnia, some of them vulnerable places, such as Vukovar, Srebrenica, Bratunac, Tuzla, Mostar, Visegrad, Kosovska Mitrovica. The caravan met non-governmental associations in different areas of the three national states and organized round tables in Belgrade, Zagreb, Zaječar, Mostar and Sarajevo. There were involved in the debate activists in peace and ecological movements, feminist associations and movements for human rights. In each meeting took part as well some prominent personalities in the cultural life of societies which we have been visiting. I should say also that before starting the caravans in which took places different schools, high schools of Trieste, Italian and Slovenian, and we organized always a meeting to spread the knowledge of complexity of Balkan area, to bring them closer to know where they are going, what was the history of the place and the places, influence of empires and different cultures, linguistic complexity, but also literature and also what is contemporary youth culture of these places. So the meetings were done before the travel, during the travel in bus. That's always present library, so the books which are translated in Italian, all the students or the pupils can read, they can have support from the person who is from the area and knows the culture, can answer to the questions. So this preparative moment is also very important. So the aims of the caravan and the international youth camps are structurally included in the broader concept of education for peace and human security. I will name some of the objectives proclaimed by the project. To create the space where to meet, share and exchange experience beyond ethnic identities, regardless of being included or excluded in the process of integration in EU. To develop and promote respect and to adopt differences and different values among young people, to build trust among different ethnic groups and ethnic tolerance among the young, to motivate friendship and dialogue based on the principle of equality and mutual respect, to promote the education for peace and participative attitudes in democratic society development, to develop and promote transnational youth culture, to reduce the gap in the knowledge of history, culture, tradition and languages between young Europeans by overcoming the distinction on the basis of belonging or not to EU. So this experience is continuing for the 2015 new project is going on. Probably it will be not only students from West coming and touching the reality of East, but East towards West, so bring also students and young people from the area of Balkans to Trieste and to offer these summer camps. And I would like to conclude with underline this objective of creating Europe from below on the premises of the creation of the future of European citizens according to the conviction that a real common European citizens can only exist within a Europe with permeable borders composed of heterogeneous nationalities and cultures which find their cohesion when adhering to certain fundamental and constitutionally ratified principles and rights. And this also applies to those European areas currently excluded from the process of institutional integration, as for example, some countries of the southeastern Europe, we call Western Balkans. So my message is exactly what you are doing. We don't have to expect the governmental only that moving and this formal accession to the European Union, but construct ties between people and between the young generation much before and behave like we have always been feeling that we all are Europeans. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For us, it's a very important area with these borders with Croatia, Slovenia, the cities of Gorica, Nova Gorica, and all the stories that we have heard from there. So
old and new.
Old and new, exactly. So it's really, yeah, you can, in a very small area, in geographical terms, you can find the whole story of our continent in the last 100 years or more. So it's really, really interesting memory. And it's very important to repeat for the new generations that, because I think somebody said that if we don't remember our history, we are condemned to repeat it. So it's better to keep this always in mind. Thank you very much for your contribution. And I think I will follow the list that was explained. Mr. Todorovic is not, no?
Yeah, he's here.
Ah, he's here, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Then I will ask now Mr. Mladen Todorovic, yeah, from the association Eko and Mladenovic. Is that okay? Yeah. The floor is yours.
It's working. Mr. Chairman, distinguished professor, guests, colleagues, my name is Mladen Todorovic. I'm representing the environment organization, Eko Mladenovs. I am also one of the representatives Youth Association of Serbia, which is the partner of this event. And at the end, I'm an attorney in a public defender office in one of the municipalities in Belgrade. And with no further delay, I will start with my presentation. As you can see in the agenda, I didn't write the presentation for environment because I think that this is the most important topic for this youth forum. Youth activism is important because the biggest perspective for the region's youth is to gain control over their life. The young people are the tool for shaping the future for this region. There is also a global dimension, cross-border democracy assistance. It's important that activities in this region develop links of solidarity with activists in the world youth movement for democracy. Building the human infrastructure is necessary for a prosperous country and the region. Although there have been important initiatives and contributions both from the national as well as European side, schools and universities in the region are still not at the necessary level. The region has now a significant number of young people who have been educated in prestigious master and even doctorate programs, but they find it difficult to return home into meaningful position. The situation is aggravated by high unemployment rates, in particular for the young generation in Western Balkan countries. However, civil society is rarely appreciated by local governments, which tend to consider its member as opponent because they often speak out critically as it is their role. They hardly receive any local funding, which makes them dependent on international support. This again makes them suspicious to the governments, which sometimes have introduced very strict NGO laws in order to bring NGO institutions more under their control. The Balkans has suffered a history of political instability, ethnic tension and war. Peace in this region now provides the basis for a more secure future, predicting an optimistic, talented Balkan youth population. Too often, however, the programs and support are not in the place to create the skills that Balkan youth need. Over 50% of the young people in the region are unemployed, and it's difficult for them to find opportunities to build a duration that can prove to be the difference between small-scale initiative and large-scale change. This is a critical time for Balkan. The region has real opportunity for a new renaissance over the next decade in political, economic, and cultural terms. Young people between age of 15 and 30 make up more than 20% of Serbia's population. Due to the poverty and lack of activities in the institutions that encourage participation, young people have little opportunity to become politically and socially active or to play a role in improving their circumstances. Disadvantaged groups such as ethnic minorities, disabled or people with learning difficulties are hardly integrated into the youth empowerment activities at all. Youth can work to empower young people to actively participate in development of their own communities through the social and youth activism. Youth can pursue their mission through activities aimed at personal development of young people through the youth work and non-formal education, awareness raising about active citizenship, people through youth work and as powerful tool to affect social change, giving opportunities to young people to fully realize their initiative and creatively express their opinion. The key objective of the project was to increase the contribution of young people from different ethnic and cultural backgrounds to develop a peaceful and democratic society. Youth engagement empowers young people to have a voice in decisions that affect them. Getting youth to participate in activities and decisions that adults ultimately control is not true engagement. Authentic youth engagement requires that young people have actual authority and responsibility, as well as opportunities to develop the skills needed to make sound decisions. It means working as a partner with youth instead of making decisions for them or only providing service to them. Youth engagement is both a road to better community results and the positive result itself. Youth learn about their communities and how to create a better place for themselves and others to live. They develop research, leadership, community organization, and decision-making skills. As young people develop to the full civic potential, their lives and well-being of their communities improve. The best way for adults to engage young people is to ask for their views, opinions. Young people recognize the difference between token participation and authentic engagement. When young people are engaged in the community decision that affects them, better decisions are made and everybody benefits. When the communities involve youth in the ways that are meaningful, they tap new energy, knowledge, and leadership. And yet, too often, young people do not participate in civil activities, especially the traditional public decision-making process of governments. There are many prejudices regarding the interest and capacity of youth. This can lead directly to individual harm. And the path to authentic youth engagement is not easy. Believing in the capacity of young people is not enough. Prejudice and myths about young people must be overcome. Empowering youth to make decisions and take action that will change their communities is a fundamental change for adults, organizations, and decision makers. Ironically, without help of others, genuine youth engagement cannot happen. As adults, we must not even attempt to be partners with young people unless we are willing to give control to them. We must share our power, knowledge, and resources. We must give them credit along with responsibility. We must allow them to use the resources that we have worked to develop. Young people are often key actors in powerful social movements that transform the course of human history. Indeed, youth have been deeply important to every progressive social movement. Young people can be powerful agents of social change. Many young people have desire and capacity to transform the world, and they are looking for an opportunity to do so. Although youth have been and continue to be involved in progressive social movements, they face powerful challenges. First, youth movements are mostly invisible through to the global media system. Youth are rarely represented as a social movement participants or leaders. Second, many people assume that youth automatically understand all forms of digital media. Compared to the adults, youth digital media literature are radically unequal, structured by lines of class, race, or gender. Educators and adults allies who want to support youth organizations can help them in found ways, respect and recognition. Start with a place of respect for young people, autonomy, opinion, desires, and actual capacity to take part and lead powerful social movements that can be truly transform the world. Instead of shutting down youth activities, adults allies can engage in open dialogue about strategy and tactics and take youth opinions seriously. Real talk. Have open conversation with youth about system of power, oppression, resistance, liberation. Real talk can help youth build a real movements. Youth are often dismissed for a lack of civil engagement or attacked. We should recognize and respect young people as a potentially powerful social movement actors. And for conclusion, young people must be leaders of today, not of tomorrow. They must be our investment for the future. So we must become the change we want to see. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to have this chance also to thank you very much, not only for your contribution, but for the commitment with our association, because we have been able to have a physical space, thanks to your collaboration. And this is very, very important as well. Thanks also for helping us to organize this.